Welcome to Lineups and Lures, where the talk runs from the dugouts to drift boats. We're all about the games we play and the waters we fish, the stories, the rivalries, the moments that keep us coming back. If it happens under the lights or out on the water, we're in. This is Lineups and Lures. Welcome to another episode of Lineups and Lures. We have a special guest here today, Joe Mendazona. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
So, Joe, you recently announced some pretty big news. You want to fill everybody in on your big announcement?
Yeah, I've committed to Texas Christian University for baseball and to continue my education.
Yeah. Let's say next time we're continuing our education while playing baseball, because you're there to get an education, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So can you give us kind of a little background story of how this came about from, kind of leading up into that August 1st contact period, and then kind of how this whole thing worked with not just TCU, but I know you went on a number of other visits. Can you kind of expand on how that process went for you?
I ended up playing a couple summer tournaments with a national team. I was able to travel a little bit and play against some other guys in the country, and then ended up at area codes. And after that first day of area codes, it was August 1st, and my phone just started blowing up that night. Ended up having around like 20 schools contacting me, and it was a lot, but I had to narrow it down to 4 schools: Arizona State, Oregon State, TCU, and Oregon.
Okay.
Ended up visiting those 4, and kind of just came down to where the best situation for me playing early would be, and the coaching staff that I would mesh with the most.
Yeah. So that TCU staff, they've been around for quite a while. I mean, Sarloos has been there for a few years. Seems like the rest of their staff has been together. Like, what really kind of drew you to that coaching staff? Because when you're making this decision, we had talked about, going somewhere where that you're going to be able to play as a freshman and have that opportunity. But finding that right coach is a big piece, because, you're going to be there for 2 to 3 years before you get drafted. So having that right relationship and everything with a coach. So what was it about Sarloos that kind of was a game changer for you?
Yeah, 100%. Sarloos he's more calm and more like mellow, more of a mellow coach. I feel like that fits me more in my style. With Delora too, like, he's just like they're not always serious. Like, they'll create a relationship with you outside of baseball. They won't just like be there for you when you're there at practice or at the games. And then they've got Mosiello too. Who's more of a he's got more seriousness to him. Like, he's not as mellow as Sarloos and Delora, but I think that would be good to have a mix of both.
Yeah, and Mosiello, he's got a lot of experience. I mean, he was the head coach at Ohio State, so he's run a program, and he was originally at TCU. So getting back into that role, it's a good, it's good to have a guy that's, kind of fiery, and then to have another coach that's a little more laid back, and you can kind of work off each other a lot. Whereas, if you're always just a screamer yeller and all that kind of stuff. But what I will say is, they may, on the outside, on the recruiting side, they may look like these calm, people, but when you get into practices and stuff, I'm sure it's going to be pretty intense. I mean, they're expecting to compete for a national championship every year.
Yeah, 100%. And I think with different players, they'll learn things different from a different coach. Like, this coach might explain this thing better. This coach might explain this thing better. Or say it in a different way that makes it click for a certain guy. So I think that's another reason why it's good to have a mix.
Yeah, absolutely. So Well, let's start with this then. So, what position do they project you playing? Do they see you sticking at catcher, moving to the outfield, or is there an opportunity on the mound there?
Yeah, they see me sticking as a catcher, but also having the versatility in the outfield. Um, I've talked about the pitching a little bit with actually all the schools, and it would be really hard to do with how much weight there would be on my arm.
Yes.
So it's probably most likely not gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, especially as a catcher, I mean, you're making just as many throws as the pitchers are, so there's not a lot of
Yeah,
recovery time in there. You'll still be able to pitch
100%.
all through high school though. For the last 2 years,
Yeah.
you still get out there,
Hmm.
show off that
Yeah.
92.
Yeah. We're gonna keep climbing.
Yep. So you said you visited 4 schools. Is that like the limit on the number of schools you can visit?
No, the new rule, I'm pretty sure it's a new rule. It's you're allowed one visit per school, but as many visits as you want.
Oh, okay. So that was kind of your top 4
Yeah. Hmm.
after kind of the dust settled and everybody had reached out that was going to reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I know Texas was always kind of in the back of your brain of this is where you wanted to end up in a Texas school. What are your ties to Texas?
I think it was just the programs down there in Texas. I think just wanting to get away a little bit, and it's really just the top programs that are down there. And I'm not really sure why it's been a goal, like essentially, but
Yeah, I mean Texas is a little bit different. They get
yeah,
after it, so it's
yeah,
it'll be
got big
fun.
fish down there too.
Do they?
Yeah, big bass.
Okay. Is there a lot of that around the TCU area? What city is TCU in?
It's in Fort Worth.
Okay. So there's some good lakes. Or is it river fishing? What kind of fishing are we talking about?
Uh, I think there's lakes. I talked to Sarlos about it. He sent me a couple of lakes where there were like state record bass caught out of there.
Oh,
And they were
geez.
pretty close to TCU.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. What's the school like? We actually had a player, John Troush, a couple years ago that didn't go to play baseball but ended up at TCU, and he absolutely loved his experience there. So what excites you about the actual school?
Um, I think really just kind of the location, I guess. I mean, like, what do you mean about like the school?
Well, the academic side, the school, like the atmosphere that the school presents. Every school's different. I mean, you look at a
Yeah.
Oregon State. There's nothing else to do in Corvallis but go to Oregon State and play baseball. Same with like a Washington State, where then you go to like a Michigan and you got the big house and everything that ties into that. You got Texas and everything there, like LSU, Bourbon Street, all those things in those areas. So like one of the questions that I always ask players is, if when you're thinking about what school you're going to go to, think about if you were not playing baseball, would you still want to go to school there?
Okay. Yeah, I think I didn't get to see much of like what was all around TCU, but I got to go to the football game on my visit, and that was a ton of fun. There were a bunch of fans there, crap ton of students. Pretty much everyone I ran into there were nice people. Uh, and then really, I didn't get to see much, so only thing I can really think of that I would do outside of like my baseball and school time there would be fishing, and then they obviously got the Cowboys that
Yeah, you're not
aren't too far.
too far from Dallas, it looks like on a map. So
Yeah,
Cowboys, and that'd be fun to go catch some football games.
yeah, definitely.
Is TCU's football team pretty good this year?
They had a good win when I was there against SMU. I think they're 6-3 now or 6-4. They just lost to Iowa State, which was rough. But yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
They've got a good receiver on the outside that holds a lot.
Nah. Okay. What like did that influence your decision at all about kind of what the football atmosphere is? I went to Lewis and Clark, so we were lucky to field a football team, and when we did, there might have been more people on the football field than in the stands at a lot of the games. Is that
Okay.
atmosphere? So I never really got to experience that, big college game day atmosphere type stuff. Did that play into the decision on what school you were going to go to? Just, having that sense of community around football or basketball, baseball, like, does that factor in?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, almost everyone, almost everyone's got it. I mean, I don't know about Oregon State now because of what's going on there, but uh, I got to go to football games at ASU, and that was insane. They're a really good team. Uh, but it doesn't have any effect for me. It might for other players, but not for me.
Yeah. So you're just more focused on the baseball aspect.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Nice. Get ready for the 2026 season at Portland Baseball Club. Whether you're looking to fine-tune your skills or stay sharp during the off-season, we've got the perfect training option for you. From individual private lessons to camps and monthly membership programs, PBC has everything you need to elevate your game this winter. Our personalized lessons offer one-on-one instruction from top-tier coaches, focusing on hitting, pitching, fielding, catching, and more. For those looking for group training, our camps and total player program provide intense skill-building sessions designed to keep players engaged and improving week after week. Looking for the all-inclusive plan? Our Total Player program gives you unlimited access to training sessions throughout the entire winter. No matter what age or skill level, Portland Baseball Club has a program to help you reach your goals this winter. Join us and take your game to new heights in 2026. Sign up today and get ahead of the competition. For more details, visit portlandbaseballclub.com. So let's talk a little bit about the recruiting process. So what would you say was probably the best event for you? Was it area codes that really opened up the exposure?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, every coach is there. Every coach in the country is there. You're being coached by the scouts from your area, um, and it's just everyone's looking at you.
Yeah, it's kind of and it was at Long Beach State again. Is that right?
Yeah. Hmm.
That's a cool stadium too, because it's. I went back in. I want to say it was like 2014 or so. We had like four guys that went back to area codes, and you're like kind of this enclosed bleacher sitting in a bowl, and you look up during the games, and you literally see like 200 radar guns pop up behind home plate on every pitch.
Yeah,
Like it's just such a cool atmosphere.
100%. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun too. Like you get to play with like the best guys in the country. It's like the McDonald's All-American game for basketball, but for baseball.
No, that's exactly when they originated that idea of the area codes, it was, meant to be these regional, the best players. And if you look at who attends those, it is the best player. I mean, there was a guy throwing 102 there this year, which was
100%.
that must have been pretty insane. Did you get to face him?
I didn't know.
No. But it's meant to be like the best players from each region going and competing, and there's not a lot of guys that miss it, which is the cool part. There's
Yeah. Hmm.
PBR World Series, there's Perfect Game World Series, there's show ball events, like there's all these different things, but area codes definitely seems to be the one that goes on the calendar, and if you're a top prospect, you don't miss
You're
it.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, and even even if you don't perform well, hitting BP, being able to
Yeah.
take BP before games and everybody's there watching and seeing how you handle yourself and, putting up some good metrics, putting some stuff on video for these scouts, that's important stuff to be able to have, like you said, nearly every MLB program was there. I'm sure there were some regional cross checkers there, and just the amount of colleges that attend that is pretty insane.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Like that, like for me, I didn't hit well while I was there. I had a really good BP on the first day. You know, I hit exit velos up to 103, and I was hitting balls everywhere on the field. But I didn't hit well during the games. I had like one hit and it was like a blooper or something. But I ended up catching pretty well. I threw a guy out,
Which made
and
social media, like they were all over that, which was cool.
yeah, pretty much everything you do is all over social media.
Yes.
uh, but it didn't really matter. Like I still showed everything I had, and I had 21 schools call me after that.
Yeah, no, it's a great event. That's awesome. And it goes to show that in the recruiting process, it's not always the guy that goes 3 for 3 with, three singles or doubles or whatever that gets the attention. It's so much about the process and what the swing looks like or what the pitching mechanics look like, how you move, how you handle yourself. That's what these coaches are really trying to see in that environment.
Yeah. Hmm.
And for a lot of guys, it's the first time they've been in that. I mean, for you, that was the first time you've been in that situation where arguably every player on the field is just as good, if not better than you, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you don't
Hmm.
get that very often.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
seeing how
100%.
guys can handle that, because when you get to TCU, you get to an Oregon State, a LSU, those big time D1 schools like that. How you handle yourself and handle that situation is pretty important in that recruiting process, because it's really one of the first questions guys ask is this guy going to be able to go compete when it's 92 degrees out with 100% humidity and there's 20,000 people in the stands booing him? How is he going to be able to handle that? And being in that situation as much as you can before you get there only helps it, become a lot more comfortable when you do get there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So real quick, before we kind of move on, let's talk a little bit about pre-commitment. So you played with Portland Baseball Club since you were in 7th grade, and a little
Yeah.
stint back in 10U. Do you remember that 10U fall ball season?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, dropping bombs at Fields Bridge. Yeah, you could always tell you were going to hit. It was pretty wild. But talk a little bit about your 4 or 5 years that you've spent at PBC and just that experience in general.
I think it really like helped me a lot. Um, Being coached by you, uh, Tom Grassel, Jordan, and guys like that. I mean, it helped me a lot. Tom ended up coaching at Hawaii Pacific, D2 in Hawaii, um, which is awesome.
Who
I
wouldn't want to
think the
go coach in
training,
Hawaii? I mean, come on.
I don't know. But I think the winter training, the 6 months of training, before the season is huge for anyone that could do it. And I think that helped me a lot. When I came in first, you guys took video of me, saw everything, um, made the blueprint, ended up working, and I kind of transformed into a different player than I was. So I think it affected me a lot, and I think I wouldn't be in the spot I am right now if I hadn't went and joined PBC and went through everything with them.
Yeah, thank you for that. As we were getting ready to film this, I was looking at some video this morning of going back to your 7th grade year and just looking at how like your swing has evolved and how you move. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but I think your feet were about 6 inches apart. Your
Yeah.
super narrow stance, and just kind of being able to see that progress over the years. I mean, you've just made such tremendous strides, and you've gotten bigger and stronger, and maintaining your mobility is, especially as how tall are you now? 6'3"?
Yeah, like 6'2.5".
We'll call it 6'3". As a 6'3" catcher, like you got to really make sure you're working that mobility and flexibility quite a bit. So it's been a fun journey watching you this far, and I'm super excited to see the next step.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Lineups and Lures. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to rate, like, and share the podcast. It helps us reach more fans, more anglers, and more stories worth telling. We'll see you next time, whether it's out on the field or out on the water.